Hello again, fight fans. Welcome for another edition of Icon Television from Icon Angels of Death, now the #1 org in Los Angeles and the number 8th in the world, fellas. We had a great, outstanding weekend. For those of you who missed it, the recent Icon Super Fight 1 event was a massive, massive success. 178 rating. Here's a quick recap of the opening round of the Super Fight tournament, as well as the title fights that capped off the event. In the first Super Fight of the night, Nick Demetrio met Hilos Pilipengi. It seemed Pengi had some fairly severe jet lag as Demetrio unleashed dozens of unanswered strikes for nearly the entire 3 rounds. However, with just over a minute left in the 3rd round, Demetrio mercifully put Pengi out of his misery and consciousness with a brutal left hook. Next, Herb Everyday flew in from St. Petersburg to take Tokyo native Masato Takaya. Everyday was hurt early in the fight and never quite got back into his rhythm. Takaya threw heavy shots, and while he missed many of them, it only took a couple to convince Everyday to tap out before suffering more damage. And Tokyo's icon rising sun, Masato Takaya, moves on to the semifinal round of the Super Fight tournament. Following that, Jesus Sanchez faced the recently relocated Jack Napier Jr., who represented New York in this bout. Napier Jr. had one thing on his mind: submit Sanchez. Unfortunately for him, Sanchez easily avoided the majority of his takedown attempts and had his way with him standing. After 5 rounds of unbelievable action, all 3 judges scored the fight 49-45 for Sanchez, and another of Icon's Angel of Death fighters moves on to the semifinals. In the final Super Fight of the night, Neo, the One Nova, faced the very experienced Rio de Janeiro import Gianfranco Zola from Icon Kings of Rio. Nova's youth may have been the deciding factor here, with no regard for the fact that the fight could go all full rounds. Nova came out firing on all cylinders and overwhelmed Zola early. Zola was patient and worked hard to steal the fight in the later rounds, but the damage was done. Nova took the fight with scores of 48-47 on all 3 cards, and moves on to Icon Super Fight 3, where the semifinals will be. After that, Vladimir Drago put his heavyweight title on the line against David Paul. Drago wanted nothing to do with Paul's boxing and only offered takedowns as his form of offense. Drago survived the first round after being cut badly and dropped by a powerful punch. The second round opened with another Drago takedown attempt, but Paul answered back with an overhand right that left Drago on the ground for so long that the ref started looking for chalk. David Paul is the new undisputed heavyweight champion of Icon Angels of Death. In the co-main event of the evening, Luther Reinhardt challenged Kevin Angelou for the middleweight championship. Reinhardt used strikes to set up his takedowns and dominated Angelou on the ground. Angelou had trouble answering back but defended every submission attempt well. After 5 rounds, all 3 judges saw the fight 50-40 for the new Icon Angels of Death middleweight champion, Luther Reinhardt. And as a result of that fight, we'll be doing a co-promoted event with New Era Fighting Championship, in which Reinhardt will face the #1 middleweight champion in Los Angeles, Rufus Lee. That event will take place on January 1st for the Icon New Year's Day special. In the main event of the evening, Paulo Edel put his welterweight title up for grabs in a battle with Yura the Fury Newbert. The fight started with both fighters throwing the occasional strike or trying to establish the clinch. However, just 26 seconds into the very first round, Newbert landed a head kick that Edel out on his feet. The follow-up right hand may not have been necessary, but allowed no room for questioning whether Edel was done or not. Newbert irrefutably won the fight, and now is the Icon Angels of Death welterweight champion. That's 4 fighters that progress to the next round of the Super Fight tournament and are one step closer to the historic first ever Icon worldwide title. In addition, that's 3 new champions and some of the craziest upsets yet. But as we've said time and time again, it only gets better from here, thanks to all the incredible managers that make these awesome events possible. Now let's take a look forward. Icon's first Wednesday Night Mayhem will take place on December 23rd in the Underground right here in Los Angeles. Opening the main portion of the card is a lightweight showdown between Todd Gunther and Ultimo Dragon Dude. At 5-4, Gunther has had a tough time putting together a string of victories. However, on paper he seems to have outmatched his opponent in every way but boxing. Due is a month removed from his second career loss, this fight is a must-win for both fighters, so we can be certain they'll be fighting their hearts out. Then, Kelvin Garnett meets Ben Jerry in the heavyweight division. Garnett is hoping to bounce back from his third-round submission loss to General Zod. Jerry, the undefeated prospect, has had his best chances on the ground, but he's going to have a very difficult time getting Garnett to the mat. Expect a barn burner as both men let their fists fly. Following that, Gaddafi Janjalani and Lucas Mitchell will face off at 155 pounds. Mitchell once took nearly a year off, but after making a few tune-up fights in smaller organizations, made his long-awaited Icon debut. He unfortunately suffered a loss by head kick in just 33 seconds and is hoping to get a second chance to make his first impression on the Icon fans. Janjalani, on the other hand, has been very active for his entire career and has had no trouble getting a win streak going. Janjalani will likely look to stand and show off his ever-improving striking skills. Soon after, Lex Luthor battles Otis Gain. Both fighters have had trouble finishing their opponents in the past, but the difference maker here will be Gain's wrestling. Gain should be able to dictate where the fight takes place. That said, Luthor has never been submitted, so Gain may take his chances striking. No matter which way this fight goes, you can be sure it will be an all-out war. Then the co-main event of the evening. Introducing first, fighting in the blue corner, managed by Big Boss, sponsored by Bushido Clothing in Tokyo and Crown Supplements in Los Angeles, training out of Icon Crucible, sporting a record of 4 wins and 0 losses, Billy Shears. And his opponent, in the red corner, managed by Barnabas Sackett and sponsored by Crown Supplements in Los Angeles, training out of Convicted Fight Club, with a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and 4 losses, Logan Wild and Ruthless Sackett. Sackett recently put a stop to a 3-fight losing streak and does not want to go down that road again. That's easier said than done as he faces the very dangerous undefeated prospect Billy Shears. While neither fighter has any glaring weakness, Shears surely wants this on the ground where he can work his submission game. Sackett needs to survive the early onslaught and unleash his hands to take a victory here. And now, for the main event of the evening. Introducing first, fighting in the blue corner, managed by Brandon Lovelady, sponsored by Mary Jane's Medicinals in Los Angeles, and training out of Icon Crucible, sporting a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and 0 losses. I'm gonna donkey punch yo mama. Introducing his opponent, in the red corner, managed by Pelmesis Daddy-O, sponsored by Hell's Balls Nutrition in Amsterdam, and training out of MMA Gods, with a mixed martial arts record of 5 wins and 0 losses, Kevin Crocop Florian. Yo Mama is a well-rounded striker that is stepping up to the big stage for the first time in this fight. Likewise, Florian is a well-conditioned Muay Thai specialist that has also never tasted defeat. This fight is sure to get the crowd on their feet and answer the question, can Yo Mama's boxing compete with Florian's Muay Thai? If you want to find out firsthand, buy your tickets soon. Icon's first Wednesday Night Mayhem event is mere days away and is sure to sell out. I can hardly wait. Thanks again all my managers out there for putting together such a great org. We have truly risen to the top, and it's thanks to you guys. Let's keep it up. Great event this week, great event next week. Thanks to Levi Jones for doing my writing. Let's kick some ass.